freshmen. Thomas in is Felix, Destiny, Emily, they're all sophomores. Jacob, 7th grade. And for first English, we have Theo, who is 6th grade. Remember this. Sam, 4th grade. And our littlest ringer is Max. He started with us when he was 3 years old. He is now a big 4.5 years old. And his mother has graciously going to point for him today. Before we start, I want to mention that today some flowers were given in memory of Emily Garcia's birthday. Quite some time ago, she was sponsor to these kids, and one of her ideas was to take our white gloves and tie-dye them. And so in her memory and in her honor today, I want everybody to do happy hands or jazz hands. These are a product of Emily.
As we return to our seats, let us center ourselves for worship. the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, he will sit on his throne in heavenly glory. And all the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he'll put the sheep on the right, and the goats he'll put on the left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, for the kingdom of heaven has been prepared for you from the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go in to visit you?" The king will reply, "I tell you in truth, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did it to me." Then he will say to those on his left, "Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not invite me in. I needed clothes, and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison, and you did not look after me." They will also answer, "Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty, or a stranger, or needing clothes, or sick, or in prison, and did not help you?" He will reply, "I tell you the truth. Whatever you did not do, one of the least of these, you did not do it to me." Then they will go away into eternal punishment, the righteous to eternal life. This is the gospel of the Lord. I brought with me an old battered Bible. A Thompson chain reference has my name embossed. You can still see it. Pastor Gary Goodson. I think it was Christmas of 1986 that Maxine gave this to me for Christmas. As you can see, if I don't hold it correctly, it will fall apart. And I'm not sure what to do with old Bible, so I just kind of keep them. Now, that was a long time ago to receive this Bible, but it kind of goes along with what I want to talk about today. I hear this story, this very old story, much older than this Bible. And I can almost recall and remember when I first heard it. And I think I was very young, maybe an early teenager. And for some reason, this story has been a part of my life. If it's possible to have a relationship with a biblical text, I think I've had a relationship with this one. Its cadences are almost poetic. I was hungry and you fed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was sick and in prison and you visited me. And phrases are repeated with the goats, although I think I could hear Jesus speaking just a little harsher. Hungry and you did not feed me. I was thirsty and you did not give me anything to drink. I was naked and you did not clothe me. Sick and in prison and you did not visit me. And the sheep and the goats both asked, "When, Lord? When did we do all that?" Who can forget this extremely, for me, poetic answer as you did it to the least of these, you did it to who? To me, Christ. Those phrases stuck in the mind of a young Gary Goodson well before he became a preacher. And the message is stark as the language and the story is poetic. There will be a judgment, ladies and gentlemen, that you can be sure of. And my place in that judgment has a lot to do with how I respond to what? To the least of these. Interesting, ladies and gentlemen, that here in this scene of the Last Judgment, and bear in mind that the next chapter has Jesus going to Jerusalem to die on the cross. So this is the last teaching he did for his disciples. It's the last teaching that was a part of this two-chapter discourse on the last things. This is the last judgment, ladies and gentlemen, and it's interesting in this scene, this penultimate scene before Jesus goes to Jerusalem, that there is nothing about all the sins that seem to exercise Christians nowadays. Both when I first heard this parable and today. Nothing about sins of a sexual nature, nothing about divorce, nothing about cursing, nothing about homosexuality, nothing about abortion, nothing about immigration, nothing about borders, nothing about foreigners. Nothing. Simply, ladies and gentlemen, the least of these. Do they have anything to eat? Do they have anything to drink? Do they have any clothes on their body? Is there anyone to visit them? Is there anybody to see them when they're sick or in prison? That's what Jesus puts in this final teaching where he goes up to Jerusalem to die. To a naive pastor wannabe, this gave an increased importance, maybe the most importance to these kinds of things, that it seems that all of us, and we as people of faith, need to be about, especially because Jesus said, as you did it to who? The least of these, you did it to who? To me. We used to do a skit when I was maybe Felix's age. And it was about this parable. I don't remember if it was at camp or whether it was just part of our youth group. And the skit went like this. A couple is informed that Jesus is going to visit them at their house. Maxine probably remembers this skit. And so they busy themselves getting their house ready. What do they do? Well, the first thing they do is they take that family Bible that's been gathering dust on the coffee table and dust it off a little bit. Maybe see if they can't break the spine a little bit. During their feverish cleaning on a messy house, if Jesus is coming, right? During their feverish cleaning, knock at the door. Knock at the door. Man is standing there. My car broke down the block. Oh, you know, nowadays we're a little skittish about people at the door, aren't we? Well, he said, well, maybe you can call somebody for me. So we don't have time. We have visitors coming. Try next door. They hear a sound outside their house. Open the blinds a little bit, and they notice one of their neighbors has fallen, collapsed on the sidewalk. Well, I guess somebody will take note of that. We're busy. We have things to do. Jesus is coming. Later, a young girl knocks on the door asking for a cup of cold water. She was thirsty. No time, can't help you. Well, a couple finishes are clean. Phone rang. Same person who told him Jesus was coming. Where is he? He's already been there. Three times. Least of these. Starkness of this story, ladies and gentlemen, is only enhanced this week as we read it as part of Matthew's Gospel. Where he put it is important. First, as a part of Jesus' final sermon concerning the last things. This is the last thing. This is the last judgment. And leads directly to the next important thing. Jesus coming to Jerusalem, to the cross, to die. Reading the next chapters with this story should remind us, remember this is the last story before Jesus goes to Jerusalem. So, as we think about that, who is the one who is hungry? Who is the one who is thirsty? Who is the one who is sick and in prison and needs somebody to visit? It's Jesus. The disciples forsake him and flee. He is all alone. And so the least of these is, yes, none other than our Lord, who dies alone, forsaken of all, including on the cross, God. I am bound, ladies and gentlemen, to take what Jesus says in this parable very seriously. Here, as Jesus stands on the threshold of his last week, here in his last teaching for his disciples, Jesus states in clear, dark, stark language what he expects. Like I said, it's not the usual suspects when it comes to sins. Not the usual suspects that separate the sheep from the goats. Yet, his disciples, me and you, failed him at Calvary. However much folks like to think that if I'd been there, I would have followed Jesus straight to the cross. I suspect that we would have denied him, we would have betrayed him, and we would have forsaken him. We would have done no better. But now in these last days, we have a chance to serve Jesus. Feed him, give him something to drink, clothe him, visit him. Jesus is present with us, ladies and gentlemen. He is present with the least of these.